What if I told you by making one decision, you could be saving 30% of your income?
In this video, we're going to share how doing this one thing can jumpstart your journey to financial independence. Sarah and I reached financial independence last year. It took us about 8 years to get there, but that basically just means that our passive income covers all of our living expenses so that we have time freedom to pursue other things. When it comes to pursuing financial independence, there's really two things you can do. You can either increase your income or decrease your expenses. That allows you to save money faster so that you can invest. But one of the things that jump-started our journey was choosing to eliminate our housing expenses.
So we're not talking about living in a van or being homeless, we're talking about house hacking. House hacking is where you buy a home with 2 or more units and you live in one unit and then rent out the other unit, which pays for your mortgage. We did this by buying a duplex. We lived in one unit and then we rented out the top unit. This might sound like a crazy idea to you or something you don't want to do, but it really wasn't so bad. We had a backyard with a dog, we had a garage, we had our baby there. It really was pretty comfortable for us. We had maybe a little bit more noise than you would have if you lived in a single family home, maybe a little bit less space. Our unit was about 1,100 square feet, but definitely doable for somebody with a family if you want to work on achieving this goal.
So according to Business Insider, the average American spends about 30% of their income on housing. So imagine if you could eliminate 30% of your expenses. That's going to be huge and allow you to save, to invest for financial freedom.
So we're going to share with you our first real life experience in house hacking, those real numbers, and then share some advice if you want to do the same thing. So when Jamie and I first got married, we lived in a single family home. After a couple of years of living there, we made the decision to buy a duplex. So we moved from our single family home, which was very comfortable and spacious, to a duplex where we all of a sudden had neighbors again. So this duplex cost us $125,000. Our mortgage on that was about $925 a month, but we were able to rent out the upstairs unit for $1,100 a month. So instead of paying a mortgage, we were actually making money by just living there. So over the course of 2 years, that allowed us to save about $25,000 just by living somewhere. So since everybody has to live somewhere, if you make this one decision, you're gonna be able to save so much money. We're super passionate about this, and we definitely think it's the biggest thing you can do to help you achieve financial independence.
We also want to mention that it doesn't have to be a long-term rental. You could always find a house with a mother-in-law suite, and even do Airbnb. A lot of people do that. It seems maybe less intimidating than being committed to a year with living with the same person, in your house. So Airbnb house hack is a newer thing that's becoming a lot more popular, and I would actually consider house hacking again if we did that. I don't know what you think, but...
We now live in a single family home again, but we did that for about 2 years. And like we said, we had a baby there, we had a dog, and it definitely jump-started us to be able to live where we do now and be financially independent.
So there's one other major benefit to house hacking that a lot of people don't really realize, and that is the power of owning real estate. So if you are currently renting somewhere, if you decide to buy a home, that is going to, over time, build you a lot more wealth because of appreciation. You're buying an asset that goes up in value. We bought that house for $125,000. I think we put $25,000 into it. It was a fixer-upper. We sold it 2 years later for $271,000. Big profit when we sold it too. So that
Plus, we saved $25,000 over that 2 years just by living there. Like, this to us is just such a no-brainer. Like, I can't believe everyone doesn't do this. It's just absolutely, if you are looking into financial independence, stop what you're doing right now and go find a duplex to live in.
So we may get a lot of haters down in the comments because the house we bought was so cheap and it's impossible to find a house that cheap in your area. So what we're going to do is find a house on Zillow that's a duplex that could be house hacked at the national average, which is around $300,000.
Let's find one for you guys.
Find one.
So I found one in Bellevue, Florida. Shout out if you live there. It's for $325,000. It's almost 3,000 square feet. It looks pretty nice.
Doesn't need a ton of renovations.
Yeah.
Might be a little outdated, but it looks pretty good to me.
Bad.
Yeah.
It looks like maybe it has a mother-in-law suite. So it's a little different. The main unit has 2,200 square feet, and then it has a 1-bedroom, 1-bath for 750 square feet.
Which is a decent size 1-bedroom.
Yeah, it's not bad. So you could either do a long-term rental or do more short-term stuff since it is smaller. What's cool about this one that I like, it has a really cool backyard with a fire pit. It has 2 separate lanais, so you each get your own like little back porch. It has a separate garage and a workspace. Like, this feels like a home to me, not not like a tiny apartment that you're cramming your 3 kids into. So this would be a good option for someone that does have a family, and it's right around that median average mark of $300,000. So according to Zillow, the estimated monthly payment would be $1,435 a month on this for your mortgage, and it looks like they rented it out last year for about $1,200 a month.
That might be for the 3-bedroom side, but I definitely think you could get that though by Airbnb the 1-bedroom side. And even if you choose to live in the 3-bedroom side and do a long-term rental on the 1-bedroom side, you're still going to offset your housing payment by a lot. So we think this would be a great buy. If you live in Bellevue, Florida, you should go check it out. We just wanted to show that to you guys so that you know that it's not just in West Michigan that you can do this house hacking thing. It's all over the place, and it's definitely doable.
So we do have some tips for you if you are looking to jump into the house hacking life. The first one is that you could look for a townhouse style, which means that each unit is side by side. That would reduce your noise a little bit so you don't have someone living above you, hearing all those little footsteps. That's not really a deal breaker, but it would be something that might make it a little more comfortable for you, make it feel a little bit more like a real home. Another thing is look for something that is a little bigger so you don't feel like you want to move out within 2 days because you're crammed into this 600 square feet apartment. So spend a little bit of time and money making sure you have at least 1,000 square feet, a few bedrooms. Definitely look for something with a backyard, maybe a garage if you feel like that's necessary. Those were things that really helped us stay there for at least 2 years and save that money because we were pretty comfortable. So we really don't think that you have to live in this horrible situation. It can be a really great thing for even a family.
Yeah, and we think you should be willing to spend more money to house hack. So if you, like, let's say your budget is $300,000 for a single family home, I would be willing to go up to $400,000 even for a duplex so that you can house hack and save on that monthly income.
Technically, that would be a smarter financial decision, even though it's more money because you would be saving that money every month.
A lot of people think you have to have, 20% down to get into a house, but the traditional house hacking strategy is to only put 3.5% down. You get something called the FHA mortgage, and you can put down 3.5%. So you don't need to have a giant nest egg in order to buy a house either.
So we do want to reiterate that you absolutely can do this if you have kids. It's just kind of a mental barrier that you have to get over. So we encourage everyone to do this no matter your situation, whether you're renting right now, even if you live in a single family home. It's definitely something that we think everyone should do if you want to achieve financial independence.
One of my favorite house hacks that I've seen is actually Graham Stephan. He has one in California where it had a separate dwelling on the same property, so he didn't even have to hear his neighbors at all, and they had a separate entrance. I'll link that video below if I can find it, but that would be the ideal house hack.
Yeah, there are some properties out there that literally have 2 houses on a property. That would be considered a house hack, but the way we did it was by buying a duplex. But you can look for mother-in-law suites. There's a lot of ways to do this. So let us know in the comments below if you are considering this, if you already do this, if you have advice for people. We'd love to hear your stories. We just think it's such a smart move for anybody, no matter your situation.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.